Good morning, everybody. Welcome to the third week of the Train the Trainers program. We have two sessions for today. The first one is on ecosystem building, which will be guided by Angeles and Nina. And the second one after the break will be on onboarding the role of DIHs. So I will just directly give the floor to Angeles.
Hi, hello. I will try to share my screen and you let me know if you can see. And then I will, after saying hello, I will switch off my camera just to, let's see. A ver. Vamos a ver. So now. Oh, sorry. Now are we ready?
Yes, we're good.
Can you see the screen? Okay.
Okay. Yes. Thank you, Angeles.
Super. Then we are going to try to understand a bit today what is beyond the technology in the I4Trust project. You have already heard about the ecosystem that we are trying to build. So the idea for today is to talk a bit about this ecosystem and the activities that we will do with regards to communication and dissemination. And the idea is to share with you so we can all understand how we can work together. We will introduce quickly these ecosystem main actors and the roles beyond the DIHs and SMEs, and present some liaison strategies to understand a bit the ecosystem that we want to build. We want to build which kind of organization and associations are we planning to work with in order to position the I4Trust value proposition in the market, that at the end is one of the main objectives. We will have a quick look into the messaging framework and benefits, because at the end, when talking about communication and dissemination, we are building a brand, so it is nice to see which are the common message that you will see all the time, even in communication kits and different materials that we will share with you. And we will see at the end a bit the customer journey inside a marketing funnel, so we can see all things together, the communication channels, the target audiences, and understand all this journey that we will do together. If we have time, we will have a look into the events plan, but of course we will be all in touch, and we will share with you all the planning. The idea is to work together during the next months and years, I hope, and to make understandable for you the kind of support that you will get from the marketing experts in the I4Trust community. Then this slide is something that you already know. We are going to focus in this part in the center. You already know two main target audiences, the DIH and SMEs. But at the end, as I said, we are trying to get ready to enter a market that focus on data spaces and data economy, data marketplace. So there are multiple actors that will help us to do this journey. At the end, the ambassadors are at the top, because they are going to guide SMEs in this journey and help them to create innovative solutions in different verticals, in different domains, that they know, because they know how the local market in their regions work. So a DIH is the one that can understand better the business, the needs, and how to connect different SMEs together to create what we are trying to create, that at the end are innovative experiments in this area of data sharing, right? So you already know that we are providing with technologies, standards that DIH will need to understand to share with these SMEs in this community, okay? So the main actors here are, as I already said, and you know, SMEs and DIH, because at the end they are going to work together to build these experiments. But we are also targeting, or at least in our ecosystem, in the partners ecosystem, Funding Box, Fiverr, and ICER. Of course, we are in touch and in contact with data marketplace providers, data providers, and platform providers also. We have people that is working with data, but we have also people that works with or provides with software platform services, cloud platform services. So all these people is around us, okay? The data sharing experts are also one of the main target audiences, and of course policymakers and standardization organizations, because they are close to us, and we are linked to the digital single market strategy, we are linked to the data strategy from the European Commission, so we are in touch with a big ecosystem or community of stakeholders in this respect. And here we have all the organizations that may can act as intermediaries, okay? Because at the end, our target audiences are 5, we may say, but all these intermediaries can help us to reach these people. So most of the DIHs that joined already I4Trust, I suppose that you are aware of the Smart Specialization Platform in the European Commission portal, gathering all these DIHs all around Europe, and also all the consortiums that will be ready now for the European Digital Innovation Hubs strategy, clusters of collaborative SMEs. There are a lot of different sites, but I just put here some of them. Of course, we are linked to the digital single market ecosystem and PPPs. Here we can see the example of the Big Data Value Association, but we are already, for example, connected to Big Data Value Association and presenting I4Trust. So this at the end is generating awareness. We are sharing knowledge, and we are finding synergies that may help all of us to connect with other peoples. Of course, the SMEs networks and related projects. Here we have a big ecosystem of different European projects that will help us to reach our goals. Standardization organizations, of course, the Connecting Euro Facility program, and different clusters linked to the partners that the ones we are working in I4Trust. Here you can find just some examples. So very briefly, and I will not explain that much on this slide, we have different personas. You are some of them, maybe some of the people that is listening now, and we have different objectives with all of them, and of course we expect that they will get clear benefits working in the I4Trust community. At the end, the important the important thing in this view is to understand the common objectives that we have. At the end, we are supporting SMEs. We want to increase the amount of data that is shared. We want to do this breaking information silos. We want to do this with the standards that support or allow cross-domain and cross-border solutions. We want to connect SMEs from different countries, if possible, in innovative experiments. The knowledge of the DIH is the most important thing because they are used to, to support SMEs in their business and also with, working with all this technology transfer. Knowledge on different technologies, and they know also local challenge in their cities or regions that can be solved with data sharing. So this connection is the most important one. Of course, the benefits, having a look into the ecosystem, the DIHs are going to get visibility, reputation, expertise, and of course help not just SMEs to get a stronger position in the market, in the European market, that it is what we are trying to do, but also for themselves as a DIH. Sorry. So, yeah, the different actors have these three target audience will help us better to disseminate and generate awareness. I mean, the main objective with them is some kind of adoption, but also through them to engage with SMEs that at the end are our main target audience. Okay. Then one important, well, we have four main objectives to engage these different target groups. If we want to establish this community and to create a community of practice that with people that is working with the same goal, we need to put together all these people, to put together to work, to align, to collaborate, and to do things together. We are defining this ecosystem framework together with the technology. We need to create something that is working, not just an idea, and activate. The example here is the ambassador program, because we need to run plans with you all to work together. And we are fostering this data-driven approach in different domains, and also we hope to work to develop different industrial value chains, and we are collaborating. We are willing to collaborate with other European initiatives and clusters to work together in this in the creation of the I4 Trust data spaces, or the data spaces that we think that could work better given the principles or the strategies or the main goals of the European data strategy. So this, I wanted to put here just to introduce what we are trying to do with the Synergy group, connecting with different European projects, working with data. And so far, this is something that we are starting now. We are planning to have a workshop to start working together with all these projects And so far here you can see the ones that already demonstrated interest, big data for energy, data ports, European hubs for data, of course, ourselves, Platoon and Synergy are some projects that are the projects that are willing to join this group that at the end is a working group that will focus on different areas of work. Of course, two of them focus on technologies, different, one more linked to legal frameworks and policy recommendations, and then the other one more focused on all the technology building blocks that you already saw in the last days. And one that is focused on ecosystem building and communications to work all together and find synergies also in event organization and supporting generating awareness and doing dissemination. Okay. Then I don't know if you already saw this framework when building the I4Trust brand. This is the first exercise that we did, and I wanted to share with you all because I don't know, I suppose that you did not show this kind of slides. And this is the content that you can see in the website or in any brochure or flyer related to I4Trust. And it is good to share with you because at the end we need to share a common goal. No? So here is the basis of I4Trust branding, and here is you can see all the target audience. You know that we have 5 main target audience and then intermediaries or people, networks or connections. This is our promise, and this is what we need to build together. And the important goal today is to understand what is our specific role within this promise. Okay, what is the work that we need to do here in order to get this promise, to make this promise real. The reasons to believe, I suppose that you already know, because it is what we have been explaining all these days. We think that fiber technology, iShare, and also the benefits of the community led by Funding Box may help us to get things done in an effective way. And you know everything about our technologies and why we should believe that I4Trust is going to help us to create the best experiments in data sharing, right? And here are our brand values that I suppose that you already know, but this is something that you can use also in all your communications. You will see in the communication kits that we will share with you, of course, supporting our vision and mission that should be common for all of us. Okay. I will not go into the values because you already saw these values. The important part of this is this grow. When we are talking about grow and scaling businesses, here is where the DIHs have an active role. We need to, we need to create experiments that may help us to engage even with influencers. At the end, when trying to reach regional authorities, governments, policymakers, or influencers, with influencers, people that is writing about smart cities, manufacturing, even different organizations, or I don't know, data marketplace providers or data providers that are working with or offer this data in private platforms or whatever. The only way to demonstrate what we are doing will be the final use cases and the final showcases that we will do, the impact stories that we will create with all these experiments. And this is the most important part because to really see that what you created fits into the market. So all the journey for me is at the end leading us or guiding us to this concept of growth, right? As well as the openness and all the benefits from the technology. So this is, I wanted to share also a summary of the milestones, just to understand or to share with you where communication and marketing is going to help. That means to help you, to share with you communication kits, to share with you message, to understand that we are working together on this. So this first step you already know, because we are doing a training now, we know about the technology, we have a help desk, and I am trying to introduce a bit, I will do now in a second, the communication plan. Of course, a communication plan you cannot in 5 minutes, but will be available for you all. We are going to support ambassadors after this training in an active way. We are going to get in touch with them and share value propositions, communication kits, message, everything. And we will have even one-to-one communications to support them if they have local challenge to promote or whatever they will need. We are supporting in the scouting, because at the end the scouting is linked. I mean, it's the work that we need to do now from the open call to the end of the open call. We are going to promote the open call, and we are going to support. Not this part is not that much linked to communication, but we will be there in any case in all the mentoring phase, and we will do events during this phase also. And of course, we will support with success stories, events, showcase this exploitation and sustainability as soon as the experiments are ready. This is to give an overview of the 4 main parts that some way, how can I say, will be cloned, or they will repeat. We will repeat them because we have 2 open calls. So during this project, we will do the same twice, more or less, but we will grow together. The super quick overview of the marketing plan is here, and it is super simple. The target audience, as I said, are 5, so to say, more or less. And the channels, of course, is all the DIH network, all our networks, the European network, our own hubs, our networks, the partners networks that are quite big. The events are another different channel, because they help us to contact with people that maybe is not linked to our networks. Social media and the public relations, I mean the all media, so to say. I don't like to say media, but this is mostly journals and magazines and these kind of things. Here you can see an overview of the what could be milestones of communications. And as I said, before each open call, for example, in the number 3, we are working together with the working group, with the DIHs. We will support ambassadors, and then we do together this kind of trainings and get ready together for the open call. Because after the open call, now during 3-4 months, we will meet all together to promote this open call, but not just announcing, but also scout and find good people doing good things with data. Okay, and events, info days, and webinars are linked to this phase, and we will have a welcome bootcamp as soon as we finish with the open call. This will happen in October, more or less. And then we start all the mentoring program, and we will repeat more or less the same next year, because next year we will have another open call. That should be more or less at the same time. And yeah, we will follow this way, of course, at the same time promoting the experiments that are already finished, and this is mostly connected to world-class events, and live showcase of these experiments in different kind of events, and we will be, of course, working in calendars that we will share with you all. And here are the channels. This is an overview on how we plan from a quite general view, and then of course we have concrete action plans related to all these, connected to all these milestones. Yeah. At the end, when talking about channels, we talk about this model that you for sure you will all know. And yeah, this is how we will do communications, right? All the media are here in this graphic. All our own media, our websites, the I4Trust website, and the social media channels and the community are the main entry points, and all the shared media are the ones that we share all together, because we have our own media channels, not just the partners, but also all of you. Any DIH that is listening to me now is part of this shared media. So you are part of it, of this now, and we need to be very, very connected on this. That is the reason why I say that all the communication packets linked to the communication plan from now on will be shared with you. This part is, of course, on our side, because we may use paid media for some of the activities if this helps, mainly for the open call. And this is everything that we will earn doing media partnerships or getting in touch with influencers. We expect to have a big awareness on what we are doing in I4Trust, thanks to earn media that may help us to share the voice. Okay. And this is I don't know how to show this because this is long. This is our Marcom funnel, where you can see all the actors and all the channels that we already presented. It's not complex. We are talking about generating awareness. That means share I4Trust with all the world. You should be aware, and if you are not yet, get in touch with us, because aware of the vision, the main concept of I4Trust, is the first thing that we need to share. And then now, after this training, or after the training, we may talk about early adopters campaigns or to share, because at the end, the SMEs are the people that is going to use the technology. So from now on, we just need to convert people. In this double funnel, the conversion is we need to understand the conversion as the open call. At the end, the people that is going to do the mentoring, well, are already with us. And then all this phase of adoption, retention, and advocacy, because at the end, what we need is that people that is using I4Trust, people that is connected to us, they become at the same time ambassadors, and they create awareness with a new target audience. So this is a never-ending story or cycle or viral loop, if you want to say, because at the end we want to get a lot of impacts. Okay. So all the different marketing activities are here, and even the steps of the work that is marking the work that we need to do with the SMEs and other actors that have been already mentioned. And yes, this target audience that we have been reviewing very quickly are part of, well, or can support in different stages of this funnel. Okay, so the important thing here is to understand your role in all this process that we will do together, right? So I'm looking at the words. Okay, this is an overview, a final overview on the dissemination activities that we are planning to do. I suppose that this is very simple. At the end, I am just trying to share with you the vision of the project, on the project in terms of communication, and to try to make very simple here the different phases, because at the end in the funnel, marketing funnel that we just saw, we are talking about three phases: awareness, interest, and conversion. And then, of course, all the loyalty phase. After convert people, you need to engage them, and this is another thing. But here, the most important parts are this phase of awareness, engagement, acquisition. We need to apply this to any moment in the project. You need to do this when you launch an open call. You need to do this locally. For example, from now on, when you are looking for local experiments, or if you need to attract SMEs, you are in this part, and then you will have another different things to generate interest and, of course, to promote commercially. So we are doing webinars and info days in different phases of the projects. This will be, of course, in our calendar events, and you will be able to see in the community. What else? Yeah, we are planning different events, and I will try to share at the end at a table, just to let you know that this is in our plans, and of course we can invite you to most of these activities. As I said, we have concrete boot camps during the project. This is one of them, the Train the Trainers. And we will have others during after the open call, when starting the mentoring, the welcome bootcamp, and then another 2 bootcamps during the mentoring, focus on cross value chain and fundraising. We will do publications during all these phases. Of course, we are doing community building activities, and this happens inside the community, because at the end, if we want to create a community of practice or a working group, it is good to have a tool or a unique space in which we share everything, connected to I4Trust and also connected to sister projects, synergies, and collaboration activities, whatever. And this is this part of connection with the stakeholders. And then with regards to communication, of course, we have the website. The website will be updated with news, with this training program will be online in the website and available for all of the people that could not join live with us, because people can do self-training. And so this is something that will be in the website, together with the frequently asked questions, and of course, some activities to support your promotion. We will see later on that with ambassadors, we can support you promoting your DIH in I4Trust web, and helping you to look for SMEs if you need it. But we will discuss about this in the community, I hope. Social media, as I said, one of the main channels, the community spaces with different focus activities during the phases. Media, and of course, as I said, you will have, we will make available for you, because we are using it for us, different communication materials in different parts, phases of the project. So, yeah, I wanted to very quickly share the idea, the planned events that we have. This is, of course, just an idea. We cannot take for granted anything with the COVID, but this is just to show you that we will try in the community, because we are all together there, to share with you our event calendar, because you can join, you can share your own events. Here it is an idea of this. As you can see, we do not have a year here, because, for example, the Mobile World Capital usually is in February, and now it is going to be held in July. We were planning to go, but depends a bit on the sponsorships, because you know that some of these events are really expensive. But of course, we are promoting I4Trust already in events that are for free, because they are part of the network or this stakeholder community around data. And we will also do in the Firefest. And we have here some ideas of events. This is, for example, the IoT Solution World Congress is already confirmed, and the Smart City Expo World Congress also. So this global calendar is just for you to have a view on it. From now on, you can say, hey, why don't consider in this event that is super good in this and that? So the idea is to work together also with this calendar, okay? For everything, for info days, for info corners, for showcase of experiments when ready. We do events with different objectives. This is clear. And finally, this is, the plan that we have. Of course, this is not written in the stone, but this is the idea. We already had info days, and we are doing this training now. The idea is to support online also with this training. Maybe next year we can do another one like this. We are planning the bootcamps that I already commented, the Welcome Bootcamp and this cross-value chain and fundraising, and some info corners or presence in world-class events. And what else? Nothing else. I hope to be able to share with you all our action plan, so you are aware, and you can be part of it, and do communications and disseminations all together during this project. I think that this is all from my side.
Thank you very much, Angeles. Then we'll go now to Nina.
Do you want me to, should I keep sharing the screen or you share, Nina?
I'll share it, no worries.
Okay.
Thanks. Let's see. Can you see it? No. Now, better?
Yes, now we can.
Okay, perfect. So hello, everyone. Thank you for joining. I'm Nina, and I will be telling you a little bit more about the Spaces platform and the i4Trust community in a bit more in detail to give you the bigger picture of the features and everything. So the idea of the i4Trust community, it's a hub for peer-to-peer collaboration. It's a space to connect and belong for all of you and all of us. Place for knowledge exchange, interaction, and contribution around project activities and outcomes. Our goal here is to create a thriving and vibing community for all the i4Trust stakeholders. As Angela said, good people doing good things with data sharing. So we will try to do that by keeping you updated on all the project's activities. The idea is also growing the awareness about the benefits of i4Trust initiative for data sharing. We will be fostering the data-driven approach into the SMEs in sector which are not yet data-driven, but will soon become, hopefully. Boosting the uptake of data sharing and training technologies promoted by the i4Trust. Supporting potential open call applicants and sharing the i4Trust best practices. So the i4Trust community is hosted on Funding Box platform, which is called Funding Box Spaces. And over there, we now have more than 30,000 registered innovators, more than 20 active communities, and more than 2,500, 250 digital innovation hubs. And what we can offer inside the spaces are information, inspiration, support, connection, companionship, networking, any kind of help that you might need. And I will now jump straight into the community to give you the whole demo of the community and its features. Can you see it? Am I sharing the right screen? Sorry, I have plenty of screens in front of me. Am I sharing fundingbox.com?
Yes, we can.
Thanks, perfect. Okay, this is Funding Box landing. The communities are reachable from here. So to give you a little bit of context, social media platform commands users in like hundreds of millions, and but in spite of their size, users don't always feel they can be their most authentic selves, or that the space is truly respectful even on social media. I think we've all been there. And for these reasons, online communities are being created more and more now. And it's the same thing with Funding Box communities. It's an online hub for a wide range of really different interests. So I will jump into it. So this is the landing of the communities, and I will go step by step to explain you what do we have here inside. So this is my profile. In manage my account, so after you create your account from, as I showed you from the landing page, you will be getting your username, creating your username, connecting your email with it. Here's a data and all the privacy GDPR thing. You can deactivate your account, delete your account. These are my communities that I'm part of right now. In the profile, you can manage your profile however you want. So it's a little bit of headline. Maybe I should write a bit more here now. Your location, your bio, your topics that you're interested in, additional data such as the company where you work in. Organization, here is funding box on my side. I need to, this is all, I will explain it also. We have some new features lately. Security, so you can change your passwords here, and two-factor that we encourage you all to do that, of course, as everywhere in each application nowadays. Notification center for you to know and to receive daily just with the unread messages or emails or however you want. It's very, I mean, you can do whatever you want. And these are the funding box that I'm in, and I'm also taking care of some of the communities, but of those that I'm not really taking care of directly, they're muted here. This is data and privacy, so you can hide your profile, restrict your DM messages to contact from strangers, and you can export your data, and you can even start and develop your own application using the funding box ID if you want. You can just register, and we will get back to you with your proposal. So this is a little bit about the profile. These are communities that I'm joined in, message sent so far. Now I will go into, these are mentions. So each time somebody is mentioning me anywhere, somewhere in the communities, I will get the notification here that will be visible. These are my connections. So all the people that I'm connected with so far in the communities. So you can search for someone, type, and invite them to be part of your network. Recent chats. So these are recent direct messages that I have with people, with my colleagues mostly, but there are some random questions always. And these are chat groups that I'm part of. So these are like a private DM groups that we all use for different kind of topics that you can all also create if you want for anything. We have project-driven chat groups mostly. This is a quick jump to somewhere where I've been lately. So these are the communities that I've visited last, and here I can quickly search for for Trust community user spaces. This is help and support community, which is a very cool thing because it can be a bit overwhelming to get all this information about the communities, but here in this community, you will find everything, really every possible question and answer that you might need to navigate through the communities. And we definitely encourage everyone who joins new and who wants to be interactive inside the communities to check this space, because it's very adds on value, definitely. Okay, so now I will jump into the I for Trust community. So this is the I for Trust community landing. It's an inspirational and open space to share and learn from best practices on B2B data sharing. As you know, I4Trust is a new Horizon 2020 project that enables a selected group of small and medium-sized enterprises in various sectors to share data effortlessly in trusted environments, and this is one of those environments. So this will allow them to work more efficiently, hopefully save time and money, and reduce their carbon emission. The I4Trust project provides the tools, coaching, financial support to create these so-called European data spaces. And so therefore, the goal of this community is to help in a creation of those data spaces. And of an ecosystem where companies will be able to create innovative services in different sectors by means of breaking data silos through sharing, reusing, and trading data assets. Regarding the structure of the I4Trust, I'll go just a little bit back in the day with this platform. So we started with the plain community spaces. These are spaces, these black with the icons here, these are called spaces. So we started with plain community spaces, conversation feeds where everyone was invited to share their content. A concept was very similar to any social media feed. But over time, we realized that any relevant piece of content could easily be swallowed by the feed of information and would not be found again except from endless scrolling, like in Twitter, for example. So for this reason, we came up with the collections. And collections are no more, here you can find the collections. Collections are so no more, no less than folders in which any kind of content that was shared and published in the community is stored systematically. And from then on, anyone would be able, so anyone here, you can find everything that is published in the community very nicely, stored in these folders that it's easier to find stuff. So with very few clicks, you can access the right collection. But however, as the number of interaction was taking off and many micro conversations were taking place in each community space, a new layer was needed, and that's the latest feature that happened. Those are categories. So I4Trust Help Desk, I4Trust Updates, DIHs Working Group, those are categories. So this is the letter is now and running, and it's called categories. And at the heart of revitalization process of our communities is the willingness to really encourage constantly more conversation. So we are trying to do so. We are very trying to be as active as possible, and we invite you all to do the same. As Angeles said, create and share your own events, share anything newsworthy that you might have at yours. So spaces, this is I4Trust Help Desk. It's a support space to ask questions about the I4Trust project. This is open call help desk for the potential drafted applicants or anyone who's willing to apply for the open call now, or any kind of question that you might have regarding the open call. These are news and events. These would be the latest news from, I would say, from the data economy industry in general. So anything newsworthy in the world of data sharing, you will be able to find here. This is an introduce yourself space, and I very much encourage you all to do this. I will share this link after the session, and you will be able to see how properly showcase yourself in the collection that is directly connected to this space, which is called People of I for Trust. So we really encourage you all to showcase yourself here, because network is your net worth, I would say. And we also take this community as a matchmaking tool, I would say. So new people, new business models, new connections can be made very easily in by using the community tool. Here you can meet the partners and check all the partners involved in the projects and their involvement in the project. This is the DIH working group. It's a private space. So these people here are members of the private space, of this private space, and you can get in only by getting an invitation by the admin user of the community. So it's a private space for bilateral communication with the onboarded DIHs, who will be supported as local experts in B2B data sharing, and ambassadors, of course, that Angeles was telling you about to support them as they become the I for Trust community of practice. This is our general coordination, this private place for the I for Trust, for the partners of the consortium, where all the things are discussed daily regarding the joint tasks and stuff. So here we have some explore. So it's a fast click to categories, collections, tags that you can also search topics by the tags. Members directory, these you can find community members and community team, that if you need something, you can reach us here directly. These are people running the community platform. Here you can read about the I for Trust, and here is our privacy policy at the funding box, the official one. I would now go to just one more thing, maybe here, where you can search for the space members. These are shared files. This will be, it's an easy click to shared files, to share links, to pinned messages that you can reach out to easily here. I would now go to the introduce yourself, just to show you a little bit how to actually post something inside the community. And this is the place, because as again I'm saying, we very much encourage you to do the same. So it's a new People of I for Trust entry. So here will be the title, will be your name. This is your logo icon. It can be your picture, and your image, your favorite picture of whatever. And here you can tell us a little bit more about yourself. In the community, you can also insert images, links, share, write a code, upload a file, basically whatever you want. So I will go again to help and support community. So we really, for any doubts and questions that you might have, you can reach us directly, definitely. But anything that if you want to, go deeper inside the community, we encourage you to check the help and support community for more features. And that will be pretty much it from my side. Now, if you have any questions, we are very, very glad to answer them.
Nina,
Yeah.
sorry, this is Rosa speaking. Maybe
Yes.
it's worth to explain how to use the collections. You explain how to use people in I4Trust, but maybe how is working the help desk, because we define 3 different collections for the questions in I4Trust help desk.
Okay.
So.
Okay, can you see my screen still? Yeah, I'm sharing, right? Okay, so it's an I4Trust help desk. Here's an entry. So we have 3 entries: new questions about the I4Trust general, about the I4Trust technical, and the I4Trust data space questions. So basically clicking here, adding a title, question 1. And you can type your question here, very shortly, or whatever you want, and you can publish it. And that question will be showcased here in this collection, and you will be able to search and go through the questions that are systematically stored in these collections, right? It's same, yeah. Sure.
No, that they can find the description of what kind of questions they should, because the idea is gather these questions, and people can check if some doubts arose. First, check this help desk and see if this
questions have been answered. Yeah.
So for each of them, we define as a general which kind of questions they should. They should use the different categories. So general questions regarding I4Trust in general, any question that you can arouse from partners, how long is will be the project. For technical questions, okay, now you're showing, sorry.
No problem. So for the technical question, it says, the I4Trust technology, any question that you might have, the technical question regarding the project, the solutions, the experiments that you're working on, and the data space, it's with the business orientation of I4Trust. So it's written here. You click here, and everything is very written and very visible. So hopefully it makes sense. If no, please scream. Let us know. I'm not sure where I'm seeing the questions, and if there's any question, I'm using Airmeet today
see
for
them,
the first
but
time. Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, no worries. I can see them, but we haven't had any questions or comments come in, so I guess everything is very clear.
Okay, that's a good sign.
I don't know if we want to wait for a second. Maybe there's also questions for Angeles. Right now would be a good time to ask them. So not only about what Nina presented, but also everything that Angeles shared earlier. And I would say we can wait for a minute in case there's any questions coming in. Sure. You also know you can raise your hands if you want to ask. No, I don't see any questions coming in, so I'm gonna assume there aren't any questions. So I would propose we go on a break now, and then we start the next session at around 10:15. And then, of course, if there's questions, we can also have them after the next session. Yes, Rosa?
Yeah, I would like to propose an exercise for people that is now in the session, and maybe is introduce themselves. We can use this 20 minutes to use these spaces and encourage them to, as Nina explained how to use the category and so on, invite them to introduce yourself.
Okay, I'm posting the introduce yourself space in the chat. Hopefully you can see it. So you can reach it, probably create your account if you still haven't, but it's very easy and very short, takes a minute, even less. So yeah. So we said it's a showcase in the collection People of I for Trust. So you click here, have a new entry, new People of I for Trust. And here's your entry that you can then publish on whenever you're ready, and your name and your entry will be showcased here nicely, as this is the marketing team of the I for Trust so far. So please welcome. And if we can assist you in any way, please let us know.
I can see we have at least one introduction. I hope other people are preparing their introductions. So Nina, if you're okay with it, I would suggest we go into the break now. What do you think?
Yes, sure. However, we have planned.
Perfect. Then, yeah, super. Then we'll go on a break for 15 minutes to also give you guys time to finish your introductions. And then we'll be back at 10:30 to speak about the onboarding of the DIHs. Thank you.
Thank you, everyone.
Perfect. Welcome back to the second part of today's session, where we will be talking about the onboarding of the DIHs. And thank you for the people who are introducing themselves on this space. And we're seeing that their introductions are coming in. Please feel free, if you haven't been able to do it, to still do it later today. And I'll just directly give the floor to Ricky.
Yeah, thank you, Jane. Hello, everyone. Welcome for the second session of this training, where we will talk about the role of DIH, that is you. We will, as already explained, that we aim to create a whole ecosystem of I4Trust and sustain this community. But here in this part of the session, we will also explain to you what we expect, what the journey of DIH look like from I4Trust perspective, and all the essential details about I4Trust that you will need in this journey, and also what we expect from you to bring into the community, so that we can together make this a success. Right, so let's start. So on the screen you see the step-by-step process that we see as a journey of you. So first phase, of course, is discover, where DIHs like you find out what is I4Trust, and get intrigued enough to join us to begin with. And we do a lot of communications around, okay, what is I4Trust, and send out the information in the DIH network so that DIHs can discover us. Once there is enough interest from DIH, which I believe you all have, and that's why you have joined. So we are in the second phase. Then that's the join. So you do some joining formalities as you have already done, like registering yourself and nominating your ambassadors and LEBDs who would be part of this program. And then the third step, which is where we are right now, is learning, because after joining, we are in the learning phase. We explain you in detail what is I4Trust, all the building blocks in I4Trust to build data spaces, but also the ecosystem, also how the open calls and everything work together, and all the aspects around I4Trust. And soon there will be an open call which will be launched. But after this training, what we expect basically from you is to disseminate all the learnings that you have got, go out, reach out to the market, to the SMEs or the slightly bigger companies in your network, and generate interest amongst them about I4Trust, so that we all can participate in and implement the technology and the framework, the standard framework that I4Trust presents to you, and how it helps create a solution to resolve the challenges that those SMEs face, especially around breaking their data silos, where we want their data to go out from their own organizational boundaries, so that there are more efficient processes, end-to-end processes created, and new business models emerge from that, right? Of course, then you can also participate along with those SMEs once they generate there is enough interest for them to solve a challenge. So you together work out a challenge and a high level solution together with them, and encourage them to participate in IFA Trust. Of course, we will have a couple of open calls. More detail will be upcoming in next slides. But also without open calls, there might be some other ways in which IFA Trust could help SMEs. So in any case, we expect that DIHs will, the community of IFA Trust will encourage participation at all levels. And then comes the support when there is actually a project or experiment that is proposal that is selected. The DIHs provide the necessary support at the local level, especially with of course from our support, the experts from IFA Trust will help you in throughout the process. And support the SMEs and slightly bigger companies to implement IFA Trust as a to create a solution which enables them to be part of data spaces and enable data sharing in a secure and trusted manner. And last but not least, sustain, because once you create a new solution, you want to test it out first, and in the end you want to also use that to gain the benefits that it presents. Like it can be monetary benefits, but it can be also non-monetary benefits like reduction of emissions or improvement in the business processes or any such kind of improvements. So that in overall is a journey that we see. The reason we also tell you about this journey is that you are the first runners in forming this community, but going forward there will be more DIHs joining, and all will follow the same process like you, and this is what we see as the journey. What we expect you to bring in the community as a DIH is to bring the understanding of your ecosystem of the SMEs. You are very well connected with the SME network in your regions. Perhaps you also know their needs and challenges that they are struggling with, and you want to help them solve that. So you bring that knowledge already. You should, once you have this training, you should be able to think ahead of SMEs. Okay, what potential solution IFA Trust could bring them in terms of challenges that they face, or when you are speaking to particular SMEs about their challenges, you could try to think how IFA Trust could help them in creation by creating a solution and sharing the data. And of course, be our extension and be the local experts of IFA Trust in your area where you operate. Of course, this training program is designed to get you up to the speed with what IFA Trust brings. But we understand, of course, normally training itself is not sometimes enough, and you also learn as you go, or learning by doing, learn on the job kind of thing. So we expect that as well, that once we have experiments, there will be more learnings that will come out of that as well, for you, but for us as well, and we'll together learn and improve this as we see them, as we see it necessary, and provide the tier 1 and tier 2 support to SMEs in the multi-tier support system that will be explained later on. And of course, be the active part of this community and also help in sustaining this community, not only today but also in future, right? With this, I will hand over to Tonia. I'll stop sharing this.
Hello, do you hear me?
Yes, Tonia.
Okay, perfect. So Hello everyone, I'm Tonia, and now I will explain how you will be engaged in the ambassador program. So it is more a practical presentation on how you will be engaged. I will try to share my screen. Okay, you see my screen?
Not yet.
Now?
No, not yet.
And now?
Oh,
You see the screen?
no.
Let me share again. Let me try. Okay. Okay, now?
Yes, now we see it. So,
Okay. Now it's working?
Yes.
It's working now?
Yes, Tonia.
Yes, it is.
Okay, perfect. So, first of all, which kind of ambassador we are looking for? So, who is our I4Trust ambassadors? For sure, it is a profile more business oriented. So, if you have, and as you know, you have in your DIH a business manager, a product manager, marketing manager, all could be also the director of the DIH or the CEO. So the most important things is that the I4Trust ambassador should be have this business oriented, because as to looking for the most promising experiments that have some product market fit, and of course have to find the most promising experiments that have a scalable business model. And for sure, for this kind of skills that we are looking for SMEs and startups, an ambassador that have this business profile is of course much important. That's more important than other profile. So which are the general actions that the ambassadors should do run? So first of all, as we said, we choose this excellent experience. That's, of course, as I said, should be with a scalable business model, but of course should be attractive also to investors. So looking for this kind of experiments that have this business orientation. Of course, the ambassador promote, as we say, the vision, the mission, the value proposition of I4Trust. Action, they will be acted as influencer in order to attract new also DIH in the I4Trust community, because we know that's one of the successful factors for each DIH is also the capacity to have this strong networking that's act locally, but as always we said in I4Trust and in the Fiverr Foundation, also act globally. So the network is important. And then we have, of course, the ambassador should be cooperate with the I4Trust consortium in all the part of communication and dissemination activities. So take into consideration that we need a contact person, or more than one, that interact directly with us, with the I4Trust consortium, and of course to develop a series of actions together. So why an ambassador should be joining I4Trust? First of all, as we said, it is in our primary scope of the I4Trust consortium build up action of promoting and networking. And promotion and networking are the two important things that can be and can have power if we will do all together. So this means that this can be done by webinars, info session, but also participate in fairs or big events, as Angeles explained in the first part of the session. We have in mind several events in different parts of Europe, and these events, that's if it is possible, will be done in autumn in physical events. This is our occasion where that we can do together and promote the I4Trust open call. Of course, will be together with usual online events that we are currently running, and then we will do also in the next months. And these activities can do in cooperation with I4Trust. Ambassadors will be active in the scouting of the most promising experiments, because looking for SMEs that you have locally is not just an action of the ambassadors, but it is an action it is included in the umbrella of the scouting of the most promising experiments, because this is something that also the I4Trust consortium will do, find out the best experiments that can be eligible for the funding opportunities. Another important action that the ambassadors can do is to promote local challenge, and we support the ambassador in these things. It is not mandatory actions, but for sure, if you have in different domain specific challenges that you would like to promote and you would like to share with us, we will do, of course, our best to promote as much as possible and create. This is also another way to create networking, to enlarge your number of SMEs and that know you, and also other DIH where you can join together in common activities. For I4Trust, yes, but also in the future, no, because I4Trust, it is an occasion for the DIH also to develop new contact, no, that you can be leveraged in the future. So, how you will join in this program? As Angeles already said, we are running some one-to-one communication with I4Trust. And with ambassador stories, and we have also some activity that we will do together through specific process that now I will explain. One of the most important activities that the ambassador should do is the fostering, empowering the I4Trust private space. So the space that was already shown by Nina. In the private space, you can share everything you have in mind in terms of ideas, of course linked to the I4Trust. If you have in mind to have local meeting sessions, that's you have in mind to run, or if you'd like to write a blog post that's spread the communication locally, we can support in this. Of course, there are some posting that you can do in your social media, and of course, you can also have local events, meeting, webinar that you can do with in your language, because we know that's our DIH. So, and the ambassador come from different parts of the world, so you can also run locally in your language all the information about the I4Trust. Of course, you are not alone in these activities. As Angeles said, we have a communication kit that we will develop and we'll share with you. You will have for free all the communication and promotion through our channel, so the I4Trust I4Trust website, but also the I4Trust the space. We have also this exclusivity, to have in this to be in there in this private space in Funding Box, when you can share your information. And one most important thing is that we have a budget available for some of the activities that the ambassador can propose. Of course, these activities that can be funded should be agreed with the I4 Trust, have to be agreed with the I4 Trust consortium. And so it is an occasion to leverage this ambassador program. So how practically we will be our relation with you. So as you can see in these slides, we have three tools that we use. The first one is the letter of engagement that now I will show you. It is a letter of engagement that will be design and explain the activities that the ambassador has to do in cooperation with the support of I4 Trust consortium. And you will find all the actions that you can develop also in terms of sponsorship. For example, if you have some events where you are going to have a sponsorship, or you are looking for a sponsorship, or you are participating in some events where a sponsorship is necessary, you can propose some idea to I4 Trust consortium. We evaluate, and we can also support financing your idea. We have also the monitoring system. Don't be afraid. It is just a way to have a sort of order between you and us in our activities. Some of the actions as to develop are very easy, low effort, so don't worry about this, and don't be afraid again, because we are with you, and we will support in your idea and activities. Of course, you are here to promote the vision and mission of I4 Trust, so some action is necessary from your side. This monitoring system it is just a simple spreadsheet where there are some actions that should be followed, and there is some KPI have to reach. But as I said, we are talking about small things. For example, one local webinar to organize in 5 months, or some the face-to-face meeting you have with SMEs in the umbrella of the scouting of the most promising experiments, 2 minimum event, 2 minimum meeting every month. Of course, there is some parts related the promotion that you can spread through your channels. So what we looking for, and what our expectation is that you, through your I4 ambassadors account, so your DIH account on social media, in your website, you of course promote the I4 Trust and open calls specifically, and also the vision and the mission we have. And again, we will support you in this. We will share with you the contents that you have to promote, so don't worry about this. And of course, we have also periodic meetings calls. And we have one every month. We will schedule one in June and another one in July, and then also in October in the fall time, and where of course it is a moment of community, where we talk together as a big consortium, and we talk about all the actions that we can develop together, and you can share also with us any idea you have, or if you find out some special SMEs or some experiments very interesting for I4 Trust. So we are there to listen you. So I just want to show so here you see the spreadsheet we will share with you. From tomorrow, we will send you an email to all the the contacts we have in the application form you provided before the starting of the Train the Trainers. So we will send an email to all these contacts. So basically, who provided the application form. So the first name we find in the application form. We also can put in copy the person, the technical person you mentioned in the application form that is working in the Train the Trainers. And in this email, you will find the letter of engagement that should be signed by the A legal of the DIH, so basically a CEO or director or the legal person in charge for the DIH. Who signed the letter of engagement is the coordinator of the I4Trust projects. That is the CEO of the Fire Foundation. In this letter of engagement, as I said, you will find all the information of the actions and, of course, all the how you can provide, as I said, ideas about events that could be financed. Of course, take into consideration that we have a specific range of time to have all these letter of engagement signed. So between 11 of May and the 19th of May, we need to have your letter of engagement signed, because in this way we can start all the activities we have to do together. And in this email will be also shared this spreadsheet that will be in a folder open for all of you. As I said, we send this email with all the information to the person that's provided the name in the application form. But if after the email you decide to have another person that will follow up these activities with us, please add here the name, and this will be also the person, as I said, where we join together in the ambassador program. Another important thing is, yes, as Angeles said, we have this special communication kit that will be shared. We will be shared with you soon, and take into consideration that the letter of engagement required your commitment for the period of the open call, so basically from May to September. Then our activities will be, of course, continuous in the next months to leverage as much as possible the outcomes of these projects that can be for sure also useful for you in the future. So that is fine for me. I think that's Angeles will share the screen.
Yeah, let me do. Can you hear me well, right?
Yes, Angeles.
Okay. You see the screen?
Yeah.
Okay. So very briefly, Tonia has been explaining this role of ambassadors, and I will go very quickly because you already know the role, explaining a bit the role of the local experts in data sharing. Basically, LEBDs, local experts in data sharing, will support SMEs in all the phases of the implementation. Okay, so we will see now again very briefly that they provide first level support to SMEs based on the I4Trust experimentation technical framework, and with this they will make sure that I4Trust technical components can be integrated with any architecture proposed by the SMEs. They are there to support and make sure that they can interoperate together, and they can function in line with the purpose of the experiments and beyond them. I4Trust local experts will also co-create with the SMEs, fine-tuning all the use cases. And this is important to to know. At the end, they are the designers or the ones that could have in mind the experiments. Take into account that we already said, but we are talking about mini consortiums of 1 DIH, minimum 3 SMEs, and so we will explain later on also in the scouting process that when connecting to SMEs, well, first you will discover that some of them want to share data, others do not have any idea on data, or they need data. So it is a question of matching all things together. As has been already said, the local experts are expected to understand how I4Trust technology building blocks works and the relevant standards that we are adopting for data interoperability, data sovereignty, and trust data value creation, of course, together with Connecting Europe facility building blocks. So these people should be versed in technologies that we already mentioned and presented last week. Okay, this is the technical profile expected for LEBDs. So as Tonia already said, LEBDs, a local expert in data sharing can be also an ambassador. They need to have a deep understanding on the market needs and provide these SMEs with business support. And as Tonia said, together contribute to find this, to generate local awareness and find these promising experiments. They are the main DIH contact point, because at the end you may work, maybe we have been asking you to appoint a local expert, an ambassador, but maybe you are a group of 3 people or whatever. But these local experts should be the contact point at the end, leading even all the communications. I guess you always need a contact point. And well, as we have been already saying, hand-to-hand work with SMEs, learning by doing practice, leading this technical support in tier 1 and tier 2, and business support. These local experts, we use this concept of a community of practice because at the end, this is what we are doing. A community of practice is based in 3 basic elements: the domain, the area of interest, the membership, the people working in this community have some kind of commitment in any of the domains of reference. I don't know, smart water or smart cities, smart manufacturing, logistics, and of course, therefore, share competence that make these people different from others. The community itself, in which the members are engaging together in these joint activities and discussions, knowing very well what we are talking about, learning from each other, and of course the practice, this development of share share resources, experience, stories, tools, or even ways to solve issues, right? And then super briefly, because we will have a specific training on this next week, I think on Tuesday, but just in case you are not lost, we use the name tier 0 for this self-help support at the end with the website, with all the information that we have in the community. Any user, an SME or new DIH can get information themselves. Okay, so this tier 0 is related to the live chats, the help desk, and the information that we are making already available for the people. And then tier 1, it is a basic help desk. They will explain next week, I guess, how to solve non-technical questions or low-level technical questions. Also, of course, training DIHs with some kind of script, and then it is like a first filter, because those questions that cannot be solved in tier 1 will go to tier 2 and 3. The last one is formed by the experts from the consortia, experts from FIWARE, from iShare, because this is like the most, how can I say, difficult part. Maybe when you already have something and you can do something cross-border to make super great experiments, and you are trying to look for something special that can make your experiment not just important at local level, but also demonstrating how different people based in different countries can work cross-border, thanks to all the technology, the standards, and everything that we are presenting. I think that I don't need to say, yeah, because we don't have that much time. So I don't know if I need to share my screen or you will share, Rosa.
I will share.
Okay, so let me stop quickly. Okay.
Can you see my screen?
Yes.
Okay. Okay. So, first of all, I regret to inform that due to some last technical problems, we have been forced to postpone the launch of the open call that was planning to launch today. We will still don't have an official date, but we will announce in the next few days. Anyways, the open call will be launched no later than next week. So sorry. Bueno, we're talking a lot about the open call and so on. We will launch 2 open calls and we will select up to 32 bottom-up experiments. The objective is demonstrate how existing processes can be improved and how new innovative services can be created by means of sharing data among different companies using I4Trust enablers. I'm not in presentation mode, sorry. Yeah. No. Okay. The selected experiments will be part of a 9-month customized mentoring program that Rajiv will go through the details after my presentation. We are looking for experiments proposed by a consortium. This consortium has to be made up as 1 DIH. This DIH should be validated in S3 catalog by the time that we will run the legal check. That is just after the selection day. And minimum three SMAs. Ideally, we would like 5 SMAs, but it's mandatory only 3. And here you can find the criteria that the European Commission recommends to define what is an SME and what is a slightly bigger company. These entities, the DIH and also the SMEs and slightly bigger companies, have to be registered in a European member state, plus UK, or in the associate countries. But how to apply? So I will stop sharing. We will run an online application process. This is the website that we will use to collect all the experiments. In this empty space here, you will find in hopefully a couple of days the application button, and all in this menu, you will find all the supportive documents that guide you during the application process. The open call is split in 3 different stages. That is it, the application submission, the evaluation and selection of the experiments, and at the end, the ones that were validated and selected will be invited to sign an agreement. All the applications must be submitted in English before the deadline and with all mandatory fields completed. So, what kind of documents we will provide you to support you during the application process? First, we have FAQs. Now it's not here, but you will find FAQs is a collected list of common or general questions made by policy and will be actively updated through the duration of the open call. How you can ask questions? Through the help desk. That is the space that we show, that Nina showed before in the i4Trust community. So, bueno, now it's not registered. And we also have, we also provide you an email, because we understand that not all questions can be made a public space. So you also can reach us using this email here, opencall-help@i4trust.org. What else? Important documents that will be found here. The guide for applicants. The guide for applicants is a step-by-step guide for understanding and applying to the open call. In this document, you will find all the information, the detailed description of the nature of the scope of the i4Trust, the eligibility criteria, the main evaluation criteria, and also include preparation and submission guidelines. In this document, this document compromises information about the mentoring program and also to the subgrant agreement. That is the procedure to process final support to the bottom-up experiments. We also have a description of experiments, and this is a support, but mandatory, support template to describe your experiment in a more technical way. So we understand that the nature of these experiments need not only tests, maybe you need to provide pictures of the architecture and so on. So you will have the online questionnaire and this description of the experiment. That's a template that we will share with you. Is this here? Is a Word document to provide this information that maybe the platform that we will have the questionnaire doesn't allow to provide to include figures, image, tables. So part of the description of your experiment is using this template. You have to follow the instructions that are there, describe your experiment, prepare a PDF and upload in a section that I will show in a couple of minutes. We also will provide you the application form, but this is the offline version of the application form to support you, because as the experiment will be proposed by consortium, maybe you need an offline document to share with your partners and prepare the content before uploading the information in the application form. But only the information that we have in the platform will be evaluated. We will not accept any other information that was not gathered or stored in the application. And then we also provide you the subgrant agreement for your consultant to have an idea which kind of document we will sign, what will be the obligations and the rights from both sides, and so on. Now we prepare this demo to show you a bit how the application forms look like internally. So the first thing that you should do is login or sign up. And once you are logging, you can start your application. So as you can see, the form is divided in 7 sections. An important thing is you must need to add contributors. So if you need other people work with you in the application form, you click here and write an email. So write the email of this person, and this person will be automatically invited to work with you in the form. So the first section is the basic information that we need to contact you in case we need it. It's name of the contact person, leading entity. The leading entity has to be an SME. So the experiment is a consortium, but we need a coordinator, and the role of the coordinator is for one of the SMEs in the consortium. So this is the information, the basic information that we need to in case we have to contact you. For example, after the eligibility check, to communicate the result of this eligibility. The second section is related with the consortium composition and legal info of the partners that are part of the experiment. As I mentioned before, we ask for 3 minimum SMEs. So it's mandatory have 3 SMEs or slightly bigger companies. If in your experiment there are more than 3, you can add more entities clicking in this plus button. So it's the same. We will ask the same information for all of you, but it's only mandatory to have 3. And for the DIH, the DIH should complete the information here. Once you fill out all the information, you must save and continue to the application form. I have to say that to save and continue is necessary to have all the mandatory fields. All the information in the mandatory fields. So it's important maybe have the information previously in an offline document to prevent any problem with the network, or that you are working in the document and in some moment the computer just need to restart, and if you don't have all the information in the mandatory fields, you are not able to save and continue. So it's a good practice, work offline and then just copy paste. Even you save and continue, you will be available to update the information in your application form by the end of the deadline. If today you complete your form, but in 1 week one of the partners need to improve or need to increase the description, you will be able to do that until the deadline. What else? The 3, 4, and 5 section is related with the 3 main criteria that is divided the application form. You will find all the description. Now it's a short description what the I4Trust consortium understand by excellence, but all this information you will have a detailed description of each criteria and sub-criteria in the guide for applicants, and also as a supportive document in the FAQs. So we encourage you to read first the guide for applicants, understand what we are asking you to, what information we are asking you to provide in these different sections. And if you have doubts, just reach out and ask. So the name of the experiment, a tagline, objectives and challenge. Here in each space, you also find some tips to guide you in the description. And in this part, in the description of the experiment, is the document that you should upload with the more technical parts of the experiments. Read carefully the questions, because these 1, 2, 3, 4 questions are part of the eligibility criteria. It seems that we are looking for experiments, for example, that are in TRL 3 or above. All the experiments that in the moment of the application are under TRL 3 are not eligible. So be careful, because can occur a mistake and then will be very difficult to fix. So read the description and be sure before submitting that the answer is the correct one. So this is for the excellent criteria. We have other two criterion, that is impact and implementation, that is a similar structure. Also be aware that all sections and subsections have a maximum of characters. So again, maybe it's worth it to prepare a first draft or a first version of the application in a Word document to be aware of the length of the descriptions and, well, to have other conclusions. This is dividing business potential, innovation, and social and economic impact. And the last one is implementation. This one. And here we will ask information regarding the consortium, the roles of each partner inside the consortium, the resources that you will assign to the experiment, and of course the resources that you will need to implement the experiment. That is the budget. We will ask, we realize that it's better for the applicants, give us this information in the description of the experiment, because maybe you need a table with because we will ask you to describe the budget for each partner in the consortium. It's important to say that we will ask you for a description as well of the budget, because we need to see the coherence between the budget that is needed and the role of this entity in the consortium, in the implementation of the experiment. For example, we realize that maybe the SME that is coordinating the experiments need to allocate a big effort, for example, in personnel, to make this coordination action. You can, we divide, so you should divide the budget in personnel cost. If you need to purchase devices or elements, we allow you. There are a specific section for travel costs or subcontracting. All the information, how to build the budget and what kind of expenses you can include here, it's in the guide for applicants. And the last two sections of the application form are legal aspects of the project. So we will ask you to show information, that all the information that you are providing by the application is true, that you read and understand the guide for applicants. It's a declaration of honor, and the last one is related with the GDPR clause that we have here, all the information regarding GDPR and how, the information is who is the data controller, how we will use this data, and then it's just I read and confirm, and that's it. So some tips: work in an offline version and try to finish all the sections to save and continue. You can update the application till the end of the deadline of the open call. So don't wait to the last moment, because some technical issues can occur and we will not able to accept any application after the deadline. So the last part of the evaluation is, these are some reminders, is how we will assess your proposal. So the evaluation is a 4-step process. In the first one is the eligibility check, that you can find all the information regarding the eligibility of your proposal or your entity in the section 3 of the guide for applicants. And this includes the legal nature of the applicants, the country where is registered, the language of the proposal. In a second, the eligibility proposals, we move to the second step of the evaluation process, that is expert evaluation, where 3 experts in I4Trust enablers will assess your proposal, having against the 3 main criteria that I shared before, that is excellence, implementation, and impact. And after this expert evaluation, we will select the ones that we will move to the selection day. We will invite up to 32 experiments to pitch in front of a jury to select the 16 that will be invited to sign the agreement. The selection day, the jury is composed by the partners of I4Trust, the Industrial Advisory Board, and 3 independent and external experts that assess your experiment, focusing the potential in the go-to-market of the experiment, how this experiment fits with the scope of I4Trust. And the last one, the last step is once we will have these pre-selected experiments, up to 16, we will move to the legal check. The legal check is part of the eligibility criteria because it's when we will assess the legal aspects of the experiment, of the entities that part of the experiments. We will ask some registration for some financial information, and our legal department go through and say that this is a SME or is a slightly bigger company or is bigger than this, so it's not eligible. These last steps last 2-3 weeks because it's a lot of documents that we have to check and so on. For the DIH, it's important be aware that we accept DIHs that are not yet in the catalog, but they should be part of this catalog when we will run this legal check. So you will have time to ask to join this catalog, but only the ones that can provide the link as they are part of this catalog in the moment that we are running the legal check are eligible. So please, if you think that you have chance or you want to apply for this open call, you should start to ask for joining the catalog. And the last part is sign the agreement with I4Trust consortium. As I said before, we have some mechanisms to support you and guide you during the application process. The most important one is this space in our community that you can ask open questions and we will reply you. If some of these questions cannot be asked in a public, in this public space, you can reach out through this email. And that's it from my side. So I think now is Rajiv that we will share with you what constitutes that sustainable, suitable experiment.
Thank you, Rosa. Thank you.
Yeah.
Let me share my screen quickly. All right. So, what constitutes a suitable experiment? I think this was already a bit explained by Rosa. So here is the summary that the team, ideally we expect 5 SMEs and 1 DIH, or 5 SMEs and slightly bigger company, combination of that, and at least 1 DIH to be part of the team, but minimum is 3 SMEs or slightly bigger companies and 1 DIH. Domain, as we or the challenge domain is all open, so we don't restrict in any particular sector or like that. And challenge wise as well, we do not restrict to predefined challenges, of course, but you as DIH, if you want to work on particular challenge, we very welcome that, and we also support you in publishing that challenge, as already explained by Tonya. But yeah, good for you to know that those parameters are still open. The basic requirements of an experiment are, of course, the experiment should implement the I4Trust components, and that's what you see in the upper block. And in that specifically, there should be data exchange using 5-wire context broker. So by means of creating digital twin and using the NDSI language to exchange and use the trust elements and the identity and access management controls as explained in I4Trust already evolved. I mean, the components are already ready, so you can use them. The experiments as should be between TRL 3 and 8, including both 3 and 8. And of course, we expect that you have a clear description of the digital twin data that you want to exchange the data of in the experiment. So that as explained by Rosa in the open call application, that is where you can provide all this information. These are the key elements that are required, but of course there are additional elements which will use when scoring by experts. Those experts will evaluate and score based on all these parameters. And of course, any additional information that you would add in the description or any relevant points that you make in the application, those will be considered in the scoring. But these are at least the basic requirements that you need to fulfill in order to be a suitable experiment. Okay. So as was explained by Rosa, once you submit the experiment and it goes through the evaluation process, and as I explained, the journey, overall journey, that once you participate and then you actually do the implementation, and during implementation, what occurs is what I'm going to explain a bit. So support to experiments. This is what we see as overall journey of SMEs or slightly bigger companies in I4Trust. So first stage is, of course, discover. This is where we will be starting with dissemination activities. You and us are going to the SMEs and explaining to them what is I4Trust. Generating interest and finding challenges which we can solve using I4Trust, and so that they can apply for I4Trust specifications and standards. So that in discovery we make those SMEs aware, so that they discover us and they are interested. And once they have interest, they sign up for participation, and participation you actually define at a high level what the solution is, what the challenge we want to solve, and that is where your proposal comes in of SMEs and you together. And once there is a selection of the experiment, you go into the implementation phase. In the implementation phase is the key phase, because it runs for at least 9 months. in those 9 months, we will provide support to each experiment that has been selected. But of course, we also expect DIHs to continuously support the experiments, by of course being part of the experiment as well, because you are one of the participants of the consortium. But otherwise as well, if there are SMEs who want to help, asking help from you, then you can always support them. So in the implementation phase is where we'll provide the mentorship program. So there will always be a mentor available for you, which we'll see in the next slide in a bit detail. And of course, last but not least, also during the implementation, there would be some events where you will also have opportunity to meet the investors, funders who can fund the future solution, or when you make your solution live and use it in real world, and you want to improve on that, or you want to monetize on that, you can pitch that to investors as well. That could also be a possibility. But in the end, we also have to together find the sustainability of the solutions that we are going to select as experiments, right? So that so overall is the journey of SMEs in our eyes. And as specifically in the implementation phase, what we are going to provide you is the mentoring program. So mentoring program can be divided into 4 sections. The first is the onboarding part, where we once experiments are selected, the first thing that you want to do is you want to create the scope. Of course, at high level, the scope is already part of the proposal, but within that scope, you want to detail that out. How you create the project plan, what elements you will cover in the implementation and experimentation. You define all the technical solution, and you design the solution completely, or in detail rather, because when you submit, it's still probably at high level. The second part of that is the use case planning, or the project planning, how the implementation would look like, what are the activities that you would like to do. So you create a backlog and you prioritize the backlog, and you start implementation. And that is the third phase, that you implement the actual activities that are determined already to be part of the project. So of course, it involves implementation of IFA trust components, testing the solution, doing the conformance checks and things like that. And fourth phase that you see is aftercare, which is also in a different color. And that is because that's not part of the open call support phase, but that's beyond. Once you have once you have implemented the experiment as a proof of concept, or once you are ready with what was agreed on as part of the proposal that you have delivered, after that you can also include us in the aftercare process, where we also explore with you further how you can sustain this experiment and put that into real use and further develop it. So that's an optional, that is an option that you can consider after for each experiment, and that's in the aftercare process. So on this side, it's that, and on the right side, you can see what we provide you, or what steps together we will take. So during the onboarding, we will the first thing that we'll do is we'll allocate mentors for you for each experiment, and together we form an individual mentorship plan for each experiment, and and then we have on a regular basis touch points to make sure that how the plan is going on and what things are needed further to improve or to get on track on the back. So in the plan you will have all the milestones that we need to achieve in the project while implementation of the project or experiment. In the second phase, you will see that once we have a clear, detailed understanding of all the experiment solutions and the use cases, then we can also try to find synergies between amongst the different selected projects. So that if there are synergies to be driven from one or more experiments that either complement you or overlap to some extent, then we can try to find and see, okay, how can we align those such that they can benefit from each other, and of course creating links with each other and form the network. Because in the end we also want to create data spaces, so you want your experiment to be the starting point, but then you also want to grow that data space and include more SMEs in the data space. And of course in the proof of concept, as I was explaining, there are fundraising possibilities for sustainabilities. So while you are doing actual implementation, you can also start to look a bit on future. How would you sustain this once it is tested and proven that okay, this solution works well and can be further can be actually utilized to gain the benefits. So you want to continue that, and that's a decision that you would like to make. And also in that terms, what should be the future steps that are necessary to sustain this solution. So all these three phases, as you see, there will be, as Ankeles explained, there would be some events as well to facilitate all these things. So like fundraising or finding synergies between BUEs, experiments, those kind of things. There would be some events where you can also meet and pitch with each other, and those things. So that it's all part of the mentoring process, and also it will be detailed out in the mentorship plan, which we will build together at the beginning of each experiment. And yeah, that's and of course you play a key role in that, because though you are not the coordinator of the experiment yourself, but you are the DIHs who bring the necessary support and technical expertise. And of course the mentorship is mentors are from us, but we rely on you to be our counterparts to the SMEs during the whole implementation phase and provide the necessary support, right? Yeah, that was it about the mentoring program, and I think Ankeles or Tonia might take the scouting process details.
Yeah, if you can keep the slides.
Okay, sure.
Because there are just two. Thanks.
Yeah, no problem.
So now we are going one step back, because we talk about the scouting process that we have already mentioned in the some slides before. Basically to sum up who are the actors that will looking for this, find out these SMEs are ambassadors and LEBDs that will strong act at local level, and they are the privileged actors that can provide the most promising experiments, and of course the core partners of I4Trust that will act as a hunter the most promising experiments, and we also have this rule to find the best SMEs and startups. So next slide, Rajiv. No one before, okay. So when we talk about SMEs, we have already mentioned some information on which kind of SMEs. For sure, we will looking for all the levels. So who has already experts in provides the data and reusing data. We also have looking for the SMEs that have a strong ability to share any kind of data, also from third parties like cities or other clients that they have. But of course, it is important for us also to have SMEs that not yet have some experience, but have a strong motivation to be part of the I4Trust and want to enter in this new environment of data spaces. And so in the last slide, it is just a sum up, and in the slide third with all the stage we will follow in the scouting process. And I don't want to repeat something that we have already said in these long days. In any case, we are here for any information and questions. So now I pass the stage to Angeles.
You want me to continue sharing the screen, Angeles?
Well, if you want, because the last part of this presentation today is together with Rosa, I think. Yeah, to talk about the frequently asked question, if you go to exactly, I mean, we have said, I think, everything, okay? This is a view on the community again, and sorry, 1 second. Okay. So, yeah, we have the I4Trust website, we have frequently asked questions landing page in the website, and we are going to update here with meaningful questions on the strategy, on the positioning, questions about GaiaX, our concept of data spaces will be in fiverr.org, and we will organize, if necessary, categories. In the community that has been already presented, we have the help desk, and this is the main channel for questions. There is a general help desk and the open call, so all the questions should be gathered, or you should at least try to ask all your questions, general questions, into this help desk space. That means when reaching SMEs or external audiences, because of course you are part of a private working group in which you may discuss on NGSILD or IoT agents, but general questions should go to this specific channel in the community. And in the open call help desk, when looking at the entry point, we have fiverr.org, we have the DIHs working group landing page that is always open for any new DIHs that want to join us. You have the landing page that Rosa was explaining with the open call, in which we have an info email, an open call email, because this is something that you people may need, but we always recommend as much as possible to do and ask questions in the community. I think that's it from my side. I don't know, maybe if people have questions, we may answer here, because I understand, Rajiv, that all the important part of how to manage all the tier support will be explained next week, no? Because this is okay.
Yeah. So to summarize this, of course, all this information is already provided to you in the onboarding kit that we provided. And of course, there will be some additional documents like guide for applicants and others that will be provided soon. Yeah, and as Angeles is mentioning, the multi-tier support will be explained a bit in more detail next week. So yeah, after that session, you will have more clarity on that.
Yeah.
But yeah, right now we are open for questions. So if you have any questions of today, then please feel free to ask.
I think you were super clear since there doesn't seem to be any questions.
That would be nice. Oh, there are questions in the question section.
Well, one was a question from earlier, which was about how can the DIHs become people from the DIHs become an ambassador for IFA Trust. This question was asked during the first session, so I think we have answered it in the second session. I don't know if Tonya or somebody wants to add anything to it.
Yeah, we I'm also asked in the section questions as well to the DIH, but if you have other additional.
Oh yeah, I see here a new question. Sorry, it says for the.
And then any questions I yes I answer.
Yeah. So.
I don't know if they have additional questions.
Yes, there
are.
is. So one is, for an open call, can a DIH be part of more than one consortium?
No, Rosa?
No.
No.
I mean, it's but it is not because the role of the DIH in the consortium is support the mentoring of the experiment. So why two different DIH in the same consortium? At least could be part, but not receive funding. But maybe why two DIH in the same consortium? Why two technical profiles supporting us in the mentoring part of the experiments? What? Maybe if I understand the reason behind, but as we plan the role of the DIA during the mentoring program, that is support and have a link between our experts and the SMEs, only one DIH is.
The question is the first one for open call. Can a DIH be part of more than one consortium? I suppose that it's clear. Now, for example, here we are talking with DIH that are
for
part.
For example, one DIH for different experiments.
Let me finish. Then, so, a DIH can support, can share knowledge, can do a lot of things, and also can apply to an open call. And then if you apply to the open call, and if you win the open call, you receive funding. So you cannot apply to with two different experiments. This is true. It's what you said, Rosa, right?
I mean, you can apply, but you can only receive, if maybe I understand wrong the question, is one DIH with 2 different experiments. This was the question.
Yeah.
Okay, so they can apply, but only can receive funds for one of the experiments. So if the DIH is interested in other experiment and can run the implementation of the experiment with their own resources, yes, they can.
There is one question.
Thank you. I think that answers 2 of the questions that came in. And another one is, can the LEBDs, which is an external consultant of a DIH, be also part of the SME consortium applying from an open call?
Sorry, who entity? What entity?
The LEBDs.
Can a local expert in data sharing, which is an external consultant of a DIH, vale, be also part of the SME consortium applying for the open call?
As an individual, no. No, the consortium, the experiments have to be proposed by DIH as a legal entity or legal established organization and SMEs. It's not for, we are not addressing individuals.
No, but what if, I think the question refers if this person is part of the SME as well. So not as an individual, but as part of the SME.
Or part of a DIH. I mean, an external consultant of a DIH, I mean, I am not expert, but I know that some DIHs are working with, I don't know, for technology, you know, the DIH can of course work with external consultants. And this, as you said,
how the DIH manage this expert is not on, I mean, who can apply is a DIH, who can receive funding is a DIH.
Exactly.
If then DIH is contract or has a permanent collaboration with an external expert or consultants, is up to the, well, it's something that is internal from the DIH. But the legal entity who can apply and receive funds is an DIH or an SMA.
Not a person.
Not a person. It's not for individuals. We will ask you to sign an agreement, and this agreement has to be signed for someone that have this power to sign. In case of the DIH or the SMEs.
Thank you. I think that answers the question. If not, please let us know. Okay, let's see if there's any other questions coming in.
I see some questions from today, but I don't know if we already answered. Because the questions that we find here as answer, all of them are from today, right?
Yes, that's correct.
Because the question from Romualdas, maybe Tonia, you can, I mean, when people is asking about the next steps with the ambassadors, all the materials that Tonia was presenting will be shared in the community, right, Tonia? I mean, I don't know if people understood that the next step is to fill in the Excel with the contact points that you were asking for, right? Are you with us, Tonia? Ah, lost connecting. Okay, Tonia has not the connection.
Yeah. But I think this question was asked during the first session, so I think before Tonia spoke. So I think they know that this is the next step that they have to do for the ambassador program. So I think we've answered that as well. I don't know if any of the speakers wants to add anything.
Know that we are in the community, so if they have questions, they can ask ourselves.
Absolutely.
Because sometimes you repeat everything a lot of times, but and after this session, we will also share, yeah, the information that we were discussing, presenting here.
Rajiv, Rosa, I don't know if you want to add anything, or Nina as well.
Nothing from my side.
No, nothing from my side. Hopefully we can announce the new date for the open call this week. Please be in the community.
Absolutely. Then we'll stay in touch via the community, and we'll see you tomorrow for the next training. Thank you very much for joining us, to all the attendees and the speakers.
Thank you.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Thank you all. Bye.
Thank you.